Nancy, hi.
Hi.
Just looking at a mentor and mentee relationship, which is a bit different from coaching, where there's no money being passed over to each other, and the mentee is going there looking for the mentor's advice, or not necessarily advice, but his wisdom and his experience, and the mentor is there willing to share it. How would this thinking environment affect that? Because the mentee is wanting to hear what the mentor has to say. So should the mentor still be following this whole thinking procedure first before he gets on to sharing his own wisdom? And then secondly, linked to that, we spend so much time in matching the mentor to the correct mentee. Are we sort of wasting our time doing that when we just need mentors that are very good listeners and don't necessarily have to share all their wisdom and experience?
You did it. That's fantastic. I was asked years ago to put together a mentoring program for a communications company in New York. And we sat down and we thought about what is good mentoring and what are the pitfalls of bad mentoring. What are the kind of even hallmarks of bad mentoring? And research suggested that the single most commonly recurring reason for ending the mentor relationship was that the mentor talked too much. And it had all sorts of ramifications, including a sense of demeanment and smallness and so on. So yes, so I did what you just did. As we thought about it, and I thought, okay, well, let's give this a try. First of all, if the mission of the mentoring is the mind of the mentee, we could say, how are we going to make that happen? So yes, there would be something like a thinking session, time for the mentee to think about a topic of their choice for themselves with approximately this kind of presence and this sequence of questions, as long as it would work well. And great, there's time for the mentor to contribute from their experience and knowledge, obviously not from any language of advice, which asks the listener to be, so if I give you advice, use language, I've asked you to be me, and immediately you can't think for yourself. So if you could set that up, and we have them, and there you can do it too, there's a lot of elegance in a thinking session first, and then something like, and what questions do you have for me? So the mentee gets to ask the questions, and then the mentor can respond out of their knowledge and experience. Briefly, so that they don't cause the eyes of the mentee to glaze over, and then ask, and what other questions do you have? And then some do a slightly different or additional thing, which is for the mentee to say, and what is it I haven't asked you that you would like to tell me? So then it can be that much of an opportunity for the mentor to say things that the mentee didn't particularly ask to hear. And then they appreciate each other. And in some mentoring programs that are done this way, the mentor also has a thinking session, and the mentee becomes the, as it were, mentor. But there's not an exchange of information and knowledge and experience usually, but that's changing too. I was very much challenged on this. I thought mentoring means that the mentor is there and they are the thinking partner and they are the source of information. And then they all came back to me and they said, this doesn't feel equal. And I said, it's so equal. You know, the mentee has got all this time. God, I mean, compared to the rest of the world, it's just so equal. Well, that's good, Nancy, but it doesn't feel equal to us. So I did get off my high horse, and I said, talk to me about what it should look like. And so and in those companies, they are doing essentially that. Thinking session, questions for input, and then a mentor has a session. And everybody has skill, and everybody's equal without disturbing the natural mentoring relationship, if there is such a thing, where the mentor's experience in some way counts there. Is that useful?